I have the Catholic tag, but I'm really not.
What are you? Sedefacantist? Are you cringe?
No, 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 no. That's pretty bad. I don't know. I'm at the point where I'm not really practicing anything, but I definitely respect how would I say apostolic Christianity the most out of any religion.
Hmm. So you're
So I'd
not
probably say
Catholic.
baptized
Got him.
Catholic. I really wanted to be when I was younger. I'm 18 now. When I was like 15, I really wanted to like do everything, and but my parents wouldn't take me. And then when I grew up to like have a car and I can do my own things, I just got lazy with it, which is it's just the honest truth, I guess.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And I got
Hmm.
tired of like I guess it's like a Eastern Orthodox versus Catholic thing. I got tired trying to like figure out which is the right way.
Oh, I can prove it to you right now.
Can you?
Yeah, Third Council of Constantinople, Sixth Ecumenical Council, in the letter to Saint Agatha, or the letter of Saint Agatha. I mean, it like straight up is like, oh yeah, Rome has never faltered because of the prayer to Peter.
See, I feel like I've read this before. Let me find it.
Yeah. By the way, the reason it proves Catholicism over Eastern Orthodoxy, at least, is because it was universally accepted at that council, and even the Eastern Orthodox
Right.
recognize the Sixth Council as valid and
Right.
authoritative.
Makes sense. You probably have some argument towards it or something. Maybe it's weak. Let me see.
Oh, it's super weak. They're just like, but it doesn't mean that, even though it actually straight up says that. Or like, it was presented in Latin instead of Greek.
Right. The problem with Eastern Orthodox is that sadly I've encountered more of them LARPing on Discord than in real life. So
The
just
real
like
life ones are pretty chill, actually.
yeah,
Nah, of
it was
course,
like a
because it's in real life. But the thing is what you hear on Discord is what
is what
they
they really
actually
think.
feel and they think. Yep.
Yeah, but the thing is on Discord, like there was like a sudden like phase of like people being Eastern Orthodox. Like it was weird. It was legitimately like a weird like fad. I don't know what it was.
That was because
That's
COVID.
yeah, it was definitely during COVID around
It's
then. Like a
because
lot of
it's. I mean, in my hypothesis is it's because they shut down the Catholic churches,
right
and you had Pope Francis like mandating, basically
being
telling
gay.
everybody they had a moral responsibility to take the vaccine.
Is it would it be wrong as a Catholic to call like Francis gay? Not like literally gay, but like
It'd be wrong.
So I personally believe
Pope
he's a formal
Francis,
heretic, but
I
he's
can you
still a
believe
valid
that?
formal.
he's still a
Can you
valid pope.
believe that?
Yeah, you can believe it. It's actually happened
Oh,
in history.
okay, okay. Well, oh, not formal as in not legal heretic. But
Formal as in manifest heretic as is defined at the Third Council of Constantinople.
um, I'd like to hear your argument for that. But I've come to believe firmly that Pope Francis has a heart of gold and he's very orthodox.
I don't think so at
Like
all. I think he's a sly motherfucker. He knows precisely what he's doing. He's not invincibly ignorant,
He's Italian. Come on, stop.
and he's just
well,
a
I don't.
Jesuit.
I
He's a
well, no,
Jesuit, bro. Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't.
He's a Jesuit.
Look, I'm as base as it comes. I'm cool with racism to an extent. Like it's that sort of thing. But like I've heard a lot about Pope Francis, and I used to think that way. Where I was like, oh yeah, no, I respect the Pope's office, all that sort of thing. But like, yeah, no, fuck Pope Francis because like, or as a person or as a personal
Whoa,
theologian. But
whoa.
but after I do my research, like every single time someone has said Pope Francis said this, and that means he's a
It was
heretic. I look
mistranslated
into it,
sometimes too. I've seen it.
mistranslated, the Pachamama incident, like there's like the incident in Canada,
There's also like
like
too many mistakes for him, dude.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
too many mistakes. It's too many
no,
pope splaining.
well, and there's also the fact that his like he lives in a different country and his context isn't like
No,
American
Dude,
that
also
doesn't
centric.
fly either. We live in a
it's an
globalized world
issue
at this
because
point.
because most people who
No,
listen to what
Well,
he
I'm not.
says or
Pope
hear what
Francis
he's
If
doesn't isn't
anything, the clerics need to be held accountable for being out of touch with literal freaking
dude, and the
reality.
thing is,
They're
if you
still
if you
living
have
in the 60s.
if you have to look into it like that deeply, most people aren't. So they're just gonna buy into what the general message says or what they're hearing. It's
Yeah.
like,
well, yeah,
And
I've heard it, sure.
if you're too tone deaf to realize that, then here's the thing. It's like accidental sin is still sin. Does that make sense?
What?
Yeah,
Well, there's a sin of there's a
In
sin of
Catholic
scandal, but
theology,
there's also
accidental, you may not be as culpable for it, and that's
right.
still be determined, but it's
I was
still a
literally about to
sin.
say that.
That's
Yeah.
Catholic
Um.
moral theology. So,
Sure. Sure. Thing is, I don't think it's necessarily wrong for Pope Francis not to be on the internet 24/7 learning the latest thing. I think there are plenty of people doing that. Like, what's that? What was that mascot from or for
Luce.
Luce? Yeah, for the Jubilee year. I think that's a really cool thing. There are other people to keep in touch with, like pop culture and the current thing. I think that our Pope should be as in touch with tradition, history, and current theology as possible. Not necessarily whatever the current thing is or the
Why
current
didn't they
method of
just use
dissemination of
this?
information.
They could have
Use
just
what?
used this.
Yep. Jesus. Jesus is not a mascot.
Yeah, but that's the point, right? Why are they using a mascot?
It's the same thing the church has always done.
No,
Like
it's
we
not.
go into it. Yeah, it literally is. We go into a culture. We say, "Hey, you're doing some cool thing." I mean, you're kind of pagan, but we just
Okay,
you
yeah.
have
So
these cool
here's the
things that
thing.
aren't
The
pagan.
mythology of Luce did not exist. They created it, okay?
Yeah,
But the art form does exist. Does that make sense? Like this isn't anything new. In the 70s, they were trying to
yeah.
incorporate abstract art in
Hey,
the building of like new churches and cathedrals. Have you ever heard of like the Our Lady of Maytag of San Francisco?
I haven't, but and I see where this argument is going. As an as an illustrator, listen. Um, the Catholic Church is also
yo, bubblegum, the
subsumed.
stuff you're drawing is low key gay, but it looks cool.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I mean, not the gay bit, but you're kind of right. Um, so yeah, I get what you're saying. So what art style is the church's?
So look, I'm posting it right now. This is Our Lady of Maytag, San
No,
Francisco.
I mean, what art style is the church's art style?
All of them, because art is
All of them.
human
You're right.
expression,
You're
right?
exactly right.
Right. So
You're
here's the
exactly
thing,
right.
like, yeah, I mean, it's fine if we want to use like anime like art, right? Or anime artistry. That's fine, right? But don't get it twisted. I understand kind of what argument you're making, right? Like, which is using cultural themes or even co-opting religious festivals and cultural
Right.
holidays. Right. That's different from actually creating a myth, basically, and saying,
We're not
oh, this is
creating.
just a
The church isn't
mascot.
creating a myth.
That's stupid. It is. It's the
They're
myth
not
of
creating a
Luce.
myth.
It's the myth of
What
Luce.
what is the myth of Luce?
The myth of Luce? That it's like this
Yeah. What is
depiction
that?
of a character who does the Camino de Santiago and is supposed to be like what the Pilgrim of today is, and that's not the Pilgrim of today. That's not a mascot for the Pilgrim of today. That's garbage.
I'm sorry. I might be out of the loop. Is the Pilgrim of the day of today like some sort of alternate phrasing for the Jubilee year?
No, fucking Luce happened 2 years ago or last year, dude.
Yeah, but it was
It
supposed to be
that's
the
what it came
mascot
out of
for
the
Jubilee year 2025.
synodality. No, it's Luce is not the mascot of 2025 Jubilee year. The hell you see, this is the problem. This
What?
is precisely the fucking problem. Ambiguity just leads to more fucking confusion.
I don't. Well, look. I think that Luce has been a universal good for the church. Like, yeah, sure, people are a bit confused
That's the
about it,
thing. That's the
but
thing. I just think that's a false dichotomy. I don't think it's either good or bad. I just think it's useless.
no, I think it's good. Good things are useful because
I
they
think
do
it's
good things.
useless.
Um, you just look at the memes alone for Luce.
You see, here's the
Like,
thing. Either it's just a
Bro, the
mascot
memes are not
or
taken
it's
seriously,
not.
bro.
If it's just a mascot, then I'm just as valid to just fucking saying this looks like fucking trash. Does that make sense? And just because I say it's fucking trash doesn't mean that it's good. You see what I mean? Or bad. It's just subjective. So why can't you just let it rest at that? You like Luce, that's fine. I don't
No,
fucking
it's
like
trash,
Luce,
bro. It's
that's
like a
fine.
joke, dude.
If it's
Well, I'm
more than a
sorry. I
fucking
thought.
mascot, now we have a fucking problem, right?
Well, thing is, I'm sorry. I thought you were putting forward an argument as to why Luce was bad. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're
That's my
assuming
bad.
that. That's the fucking
No,
problem with
you're
fucking
right. I
creating a
was.
myth and
Bro,
saying
bro,
that it's a fucking
you
icon
can
of
chill out,
something.
bro.
It's no one's saying it's an icon. I'm sorry. You're right. I was assuming that you were putting forward an argument as to why Luce
But
was
that's
bad.
what it leads
I'm
to.
sorry. I mean, anything can lead to that. Literally,
Precisely.
literally anything can.
Because the distinction between an icon, like an actual representation, right, of some like reality versus a mascot is a virtual distinction.
I don't understand what you mean by that. Would you mind elaborating?
It's not a real distinction. It's
Nigga,
a
Distinction
what?
between a
distinction that we have in
mascot
our
and an icon.
mind, but it's a distinction that's not real in the real world. Art is
Jesus is a
art,
mascot.
for
Mary
example.
is a
Nigga,
mascot.
please.
The
No,
depiction
no,
by
no,
Saint
wrong.
Luke is a mascot.
No, no, they're not.
Then use a word that is an icon, please.
So here's the thing, right? The representation of whatever it is only
Okay.
virtually distinct. Does that make sense? In our heads.
So by
But
virtually distinct, you mean there's
that
no
which
real
it
distinction.
represents is not. That which it represents is a real thing.
Okay.
So when we have a mythical fabrication like Luce, who is not a real thing in the real world, the
Okay.
distinction of whether or not it's just an icon or a mascot is a virtual distinction in our minds. So that's why my only critique, which I believe is a fair and a real critique, is that in respect of people's both senses and their minds, right? And
Like the
even for their
sensitivities.
edification, so to speak, yo, we have plenty of people we already venerate. Use a freaking real person, at least.
Yeah, I think it's crazy,
I
bro, actually. The more I think about it, it's really weird.
don't think so, because no one's trying to venerate Lucha.
No,
Um,
I don't think anyone's trying to venerate Luce, but it is a weird, like,
It's
it's
creepy.
just like it's just weird point. Like, what is the point? It's like they're selling like it's very commercial. It's just kind of
Yeah.
freaky.
well,
It's
I
like
mean, the point is,
they've turned the Vatican or Christian or Catholicism into a lifestyle brand.
Yeah, it's weird. If you actually,
I mean,
yeah, it is weird. Very
Christianity is
weird.
a lifestyle. I,
Okay, but no,
I
but you
just
know,
don't
it's
get it.
weird.
I don't. I'm
They're
sorry. I just
trying to
don't
sell it.
understand why
They're
you're
not trying to sell the
upset.
values of Christianity. They're just selling the appeal. It's just weird. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you start to love a woman because she has beautiful eyes, um, and then like you hang out with that woman enough, you start to date her, and eventually
Hmm.
you may, not necessarily, but you may actually fall in love with her. The appeal of Christianity
I get
is
that, but
a
do you think
tool
that's
that
actually
we
gonna?
can
I generally
use.
don't think it's gonna work, even if the intention's there. I'm just saying I don't think it's gonna work. Like there's memes, like you said, there's memes. Like that's not helping, dude.
Yeah, well,
I saw a
I
drawing
disagree.
of a Lucate Lucifer the other day when I looked it up. I was just
I've
like, I'm like,
seen
this is crazy.
I've seen much worse. I've seen
You
much
know?
worse. Trust me. I'm a Twitter user and I'm an
Yeah,
illustrator,
you need draw.
and
You've probably seen some freaky stuff, bro.
I've seen some freaky shit. But the people who look at the memes think they're funny and think that Luce is a cool concept might investigate Catholicism further. If it saves a soul and doesn't do any harm to the faith, I just don't really see. I just don't see a problem with it. In fact, I really like the idea of Luce as a thing that the church is doing.
Good evening, everybody.
But what is it?
But
Like
that's the thing,
really,
it's not a
what
thing.
is it? What is the thing? Yeah.
Well, in the way that I'm using the term "thing" in that
But
context is
are they
just
gonna have ads with Luce in it? It's just weird.
well, no, like it's just like a aesthetic motif for a certain thing. Like it's like take the I don't know any art style that has been predominantly like what would you call it? Put forward by the church in any age. There have been misuses of it and uses of it that are proper and actually do help people come closer in the faith. Like
I
I
think
just don't.
if you truly believe that, then I think it's insulting people's intelligence.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, you're too stupid to have the real stuff, so here's Luce.
What's the real stuff?
Like the real Christian values, or like a representation of an actual real saint, or even Jesus himself. Here's like a
Yeah,
intermediary,
Jesus himself would be
non-fictional.
good.
Yeah, Jesus himself would be
Here's an
good. It's
intermediary
awesome.
fictional character that we created just for you.
If I can't put forward Jesus
Yeah,
to
and
you
it has a
in
little
a
it has
way
a
that
little
compels
cross.
you,
It has a very little
uh,
cross around his neck.
like, no, Luce is a symbol of Christ. Soon to replace all crucifixes around the world. What the fuck?
Dude, I know, bro.
I'm a
But
Pentecostal, and I've never heard of Luce or whatever you're talking about.
I'm sorry, bro. What was that?
I've never heard of this Luce you're talking about.
Look it
Asher,
up.
it's kind of creepy, bro. I don't want to say creepy. I think bubblegum has like I guess like it's like a good viewpoint. I'm not shitting on like it just to me it just like very eerie and it's like really cringe and stupid and like weird. It's like a branding. It's just like it just doesn't like it's weird. I don't know.
Feels kind
What
of
is it? Is
corporate
it a
to you.
religion or what?
It's a mascot for the church, bro. It's an anime
It's
mascot.
it's a new religion. All hail Luce.
Bro, don't
Oh, if
say
it's
that, bro.
animated, it's gay.
Anyway,
I'm a fan of the art style, right? So yeah, I would like to see the Stations of the Cross anime version. You know what I mean?
I
That's
wouldn't even
fine.
like this even seems
there's
weird to me. This is weird to me. The Christ as an anime is weird to me.
Like,
there's
if they
actually a really good anime like animation of the crucifixion that made me cry. Is like this whole like thing. It was really good. Um, I don't see any problem with using that art style to promote the church. And it's not like anyone's looking at Luce and is like, oh yeah, the Catholic Church is saying like this is like an icon now that we need to venerate, or that like
again,
this is
that's a virtual distinction, right? It's not the same thing
okay.
as like a real distinction.
Nobody's
But it
venerating
is just weird.
Luce.
People are gonna associate the
People
church
are
with that fake
venerate
figure.
actual icons. Yeah, I hope they do, frankly, because like it sort of pushes the church forward aesthetically in a way that appeals to people nowadays without sacrificing any virtues or any.
Yeah, but if that's the case, you know what I would have liked to see? Why can't we come out with like Stations of the Cross Berserk version? You know what I mean?
Dude, no, dude, it
That
should
I
not be
want to
anime
sit.
at
look,
all. It should not be anime at
no,
all,
I
bro.
don't have any problem with that as long as it's done reverently. Like, as long as it's
Yo,
done reverently
I
in a
have a
serious
problem
way.
with it. It's just
yo,
weird.
bubblegum. Have you seen the Prince of Egypt?
The Prince of Egypt?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Disney movie.
that type of cartoon style is magnificent.
Okay, but not anime, though.
No, I don't like the anime style. It's weird because anime has connotation, like the weird connotations, and it's like people like, come on, we're not dumb. We're not dumb. It's just like weird.
Here's
No,
connotation. Dude, every single art style, like, people have done illicit things with it.
sure, but
It's
it's just
like,
like it's just to me, it's weird. And obviously, maybe they chose that because it does appeal to people, but it's definitely like
like,
Can,
it's just weird.
can I
do you
ask the
know what the,
Catholics a question?
It's like the Catholic Church should
just,
not try and go viral in like a meme way. It's just
do you
insanely
Is,
know,
like
is
weird.
this to
do you
ask
know
the
what the
Catholics a
organ was
question, chat?
originally associated with? The organ, the instrument, the organ.
Hmm.
It was
What?
originally
Is
associated
there any
with,
Catholics in here?
Yeah,
yeah,
we're talking.
Yeah.
um,
Oh, can I
but
ask you a question?
real quick, I want to get this point out if I may.
Yeah, the organ.
The organ was originally associated with pagan orgies, and a lot of people contested or like protested its use in churches for a very long time until the church was like, okay, yeah, well, I mean, the pagan orgies kind of not cool, but also this organ thing is cool. So the weird
The
connotations thing
Sure, that's true. But I
just
mean,
kind of doesn't work
that's
for
an
me.
invention that's been going, and the organ has an actual practical use, and it was like needed for things. Like I don't, like I get what you mean. Like, and maybe my like my view is very like how would I say it?
Conservative.
Yeah, and like
There's nothing wrong with
shallow,
being
kind of
conservative.
shallow, but it's just like something in my head and my heart just makes me feel very weird about it.
How do you get someone
Right.
excited?
Be excited.